It's Nick up here with episode 7 of Morning Minutes, hoping to come at you with some simple, smart advice. So what do I want to talk to you guys about today? It's going to be, I'm concerned about not having a long-term estate plan in place. Should I have one? Well, should I be exercising more? Probably yes. Should I be eating healthier? Probably yes. Should I, quit smoking? Probably yes. So should I have some sort of an estate plan in place? Probably yes. Okay, it's one of those things that you should be doing, right? I guess there's no law against not having it, but it's crucially important, I think, that you do have something in place, and I'll explain why in a minute. But when it comes to estate planning, this it becomes more top of mind. Usually, the older you get, and especially when a family or an individual or a couple, when they get recently married, they have their first children or grandchildren. That's when it starts to become top of mind, and you start thinking about those things. But it's important. It's always important to have. Okay, so when most people think about estate planning, most people think about wills, powers of attorney, and taxation at death is also a big one. So when you die, all of your assets are deemed disposed, and there could be some serious tax consequences associated with that, depending on how your assets are held and things are set up. But anyway, moral of the story is it's best to know what tax considerations there are and anticipate those beforehand. So better to be proactive rather than reactive, I think, in those situations. All right. Now, again, I'm super generalizing here, and as I mentioned, estate planning becomes more and more important as you get older. That's not to say it's not important when you're young. It's still very, very important. It just becomes even more very important as you get older. Okay. So what are some things you can do today? What are some things you can do now to get that ball rolling? All right. Well, I think the simplest and easiest thing you can do is make sure that all of your beneficiaries are updated on your investment accounts and retirement accounts and things of that nature. I think that's you just check your statements to see who the beneficiary is, and make sure it's the person that you want it to be. And if it's not, I think that's a fairly easy phone call or a form to fill out, and that can be changed. It doesn't cost much, if anything, and it can make a really big difference in the grand scheme of things if push comes to shove. All right. Next would be, draft some powers, your powers of attorney. I'm not going to get into the details of all the various types that are out there, but again, the moral of the story here is that if you become incapacitated in whatever way, there is clear instructions to the person you appoint to be your power on how to deal with your financial affairs or your personal care and things of that nature. So it's good to have, right? Next would be having a will. And why? Well, again, I'm going to guess that you've worked hard your whole life to build up a certain amount of wealth, and then I'm going to take another guess and going to assume that you're going to want that wealth to be distributed to the people who you want, not what somebody else wants or says or things of that nature. So it's crucially important to have that. And again, the whole purpose of a will is, or any of these documents for that matter, is to, outline some sort of a clear, or have some sort of a clear outline on what's to be done with your estate, your assets, and all of that stuff when you're no longer there or you're incapacitated, where you don't have that voice. That's what these documents are there for. It's to prevent ambiguity from how to distribute all of your things. Okay. And also, if all this stuff is properly drafted, it can prevent a lot of family conflict, right? I mean, I think the last thing you want is, close family, bickering and fighting at each other. And it's sad, but it does happen often when it comes to these things. And, dealing with a death in a family is never pleasant. It's a difficult time to go through. So having these documents properly drafted is crucially important from a logistics and processing way, from a taxation point of view, and again, just from a distributive standpoint, it's very important. I think that's all I had for this today. All right. Again, the estate planning, it's so broad. I mean, I can talk about this for a month if I really went into the details and all that. But that's the quick and dirty on it. So should I have one? Yes, I think you should. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you tomorrow. All right. Bye.